Have you ever imagined why hydrogen can fit in any group on the periodic table? Well, today I'm going to explain the reasons as to why hydrogen fits or is not placed in any group on the periodic table. The reason as to why hydrogen is not placed in any group on the periodic table is because hydrogen can fit in group 1, it can fit in group 4, it can also fit in group 7. Now, why hydrogen can fit in group 1, group 4, and group 7? Here are the reasons as to why hydrogen can be placed in these 3 groups. Let's go. Number 1, we are saying that hydrogen can fit in group 1. So hydrogen can fit in what? Can fit in group 1. Why can hydrogen fit in group 1? Hydrogen can fit in group 1 because 1, it has an s atomic orbital at the end of an electronic configuration, just like those elements in group 1. So we are saying that hydrogen can fit in group 1 because if you are to pick any element on the periodic table, let's say sodium, which is coming from group 1, and you know that sodium has a proton number of 23, meaning that if we are to write the electronic configuration of sodium, we are going to say that it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and then 3s1. So what is the last atomic orbital there? It's an s. Let's also compare it to hydrogen, which has a proton number of 1. So if we are to write the electronic configuration of hydrogen, we are going to have 1s1 only. And then the question is, what is the last atomic orbital on the electronic configuration of hydrogen? It is an s. So we are saying that hydrogen can fit in group 1 because it has an s atomic orbital at the end of any electron configuration or at the end of an electron configuration, just like those elements in group 1. So if you are to write the electron configuration of any element in group 1, you are going to realize that they will have the s atomic orbital at the end of that electron configuration. And so hydrogen does the same manner. Alright. That is the reason as why hydrogen can fit in group 1. Alright. Now, the other reason is, before maybe I'll give the other reason, let's look at the reason as to why hydrogen can also fit in group 4. So why can hydrogen fit in group 4? So we're saying that hydrogen can fit in group 4. Why can it fit in group 4? So hydrogen can fit in group 4 because it has a shortfall, okay, of half electrons for it to become stable, just like those elements in group 4. What I'm saying is, let's pick an element coming from group 4. So in this case, I'm going to pick carbon. We know that carbon has a proton number of 6. And if we are to write the electronic configuration of carbon, we are going to have 1s2, 2s2, and then 2p2. So you are going to realize that we have the last shell or the last orbital is having 2 electrons. I mean, is having 2 plus 2, which is 4 electrons. How many does carbon need for it to become stable? It needs 4, which is half of 8. So it needs 4, which is what? Half of 8. Okay, so for carbon to be stable, it needs 4 electrons for it to reach the octet state, which is 8. So 4 is half of 8. Then, if we are to compare carbon to hydrogen, you are going to find that the electron configuration of hydrogen is 1s1 because there's a proton number of 1 there. And so, hydrogen also needs half electron or half electron for it to, or half electrons for it to attain the stability state of 2, because you know that for hydrogen to be stable, it only needs 2 electrons. And if it's already having 1, meaning that it has 1 now, 1 is half of what? Half of 2. So for hydrogen to be stable, it needs only 1 electron for it to become stable, which is half of the 2. Alright? Carbon also, which is coming from group 4, it has 4 electrons in the outermost shell, and it needs also half electrons for it to become stable. In other words, we are saying that hydrogen can fit in group 4 because it is half filled. So you can say because it is half filled, just like those elements in group 4. So half filled meaning that hydrogen needs 1 electron for it to attain the stability state of 2 electrons, alright, which is half of 2. Then also elements in group 4, they also need 4 electrons, or rather half of 8, for them to attain the octet state. So that's the reason why hydrogen can fit in group 4, because it is half filled, just like those elements in group 4. Let's go to the other reason as to why hydrogen can fit in group 7. So we are saying that hydrogen can fit also in group 7. In group 7, what's the reason? Why can hydrogen fit in group 7? So hydrogen can fit in group 7 because we can say because it has, or we can say it needs, it needs 1 electron to be stable. Just like elements in group 7. Just like elements in group 7. So we are saying that for hydrogen to be stable, it only needs 1 electron for it to become stable, just like those elements in group 7. For example, we are going to say, we are going to pick an element from group 7. So an element from group 7 is a fluorine, which has a proton number of 9. So if we are to write the electron configuration of fluorine, we are going to find that it is going to have 1s2, 2s2, and then 2p5. That's the electron configuration of fluorine. Now, you are going to realize that in the last shell of fluorine, or last shell of any group 7 element, you are going to realize that you are going to have 7 electrons. So if you have 7 electrons, meaning that for any element in group 7, it only needs 1 electron, or they only need 1 electron for them to become stable. And so, if we are to also write the electron configuration of hydrogen, we are going to realize that hydrogen can be written as 1s1. How many electrons does hydrogen need for it to become stable? So in this case, hydrogen also needs only 1 electron for it to attain the 2 electrons, which is its stability state. So we are saying that hydrogen can fit in group 7 because it only needs 1 electron for it to become stable, just like those elements in group 7. Alright, so these are some of the reasons as to why hydrogen can fit in group 1, can fit in group 4, and also it can fit in group 7. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is the Radical Tutor. Please don't forget to follow my Facebook page for more videos. If you are on YouTube, kindly subscribe on my channel so that whenever I post videos, you are able to see that I've posted videos. See you next time. Bye bye.